welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals, those grand finales here of the WardiTV Monday number 55. It's been an intense broadcast here. Now we have arrived to our top two players of the tournament, and we're here to find out who's going to be this week's champion. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing StarCraft Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TvP. As Clem does move out with his initial SCV, going for the eBay block. So again, the goal here is to avoid the main scouting pattern, to be able to sneak past the first probe, to get into the natural, and to start the eBay. And ideally to almost finish it, to get as much progression as possible, to delay the expansion and to force the unnatural natural. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. As the eBay is on the way, and MaxPax, he does not check. He does not check. The probe scout does get across the map. There's no worker rallying here to the low ground, which means the eBay is going to have plenty of progression, and Clem is going to have a slightly better edge here in the early game. Speaking of, there it is, there's the unnatural natural. Again, MaxPax, he did not check the low ground, he did not check the expansion locations, so he's forced to expand at the third location instead. And with that, Clem has the opportunity to punish. Does have the opportunity here back at home. We have the CC on the low ground. From here, we can go into the factory, into Atom Swap, into Reactor, into Hellion, or into Cyclone, or he can just play standard and just play it out from here. Our eyes are going to be on Clem, as he has momentum. He does have momentum. From the side of MaxPax, it can be very awkward to defend, so yep, he has to invest into shield battery. Shield battery is on the way, and we'll see if he goes for a Stargate or a Twilight Council. What is the tech going to be? Let me go what he wanted. And there it is, Stargate is the tech of choice. Again, it's very common to open up Stargate when the Protoss player is in this position. The reasoning for this is because, as you can imagine, it can be very awkward, very difficult to defend your main base and your third base at the same time. The Oracle does help, just because the Oracle is able to traverse and the terrain doesn't matter, right? It's a little bit easier to maneuver back and forth between your bases with Oracles. With Phoenixes, with the Stargate. So this is a common follow-up. Phoenix production has begun. As the devs are poking in, and Clem is getting to his own 1-1-1 follow-up. The factory and starport a little bit further back to make sure they don't get scouted. To make sure that MaxPax is in the dark. As MaxPax is looking for a way in. Two more gates on the way behind this. And with the early tank production, Clem should be going for an early push. So early move outs, very committed here. This is where Stargate openers can be really weak, and that is because the Phoenix can do what? Can lift the tank, sure, but there's going to be plenty of support with Marines, with the Cyclones, to make sure the Phoenixes are a non-factor. Phoenixes, they're great at denying drop play, they're great at denying harass, but when it comes to committed all-ins, I mean, different story. As here comes Clem. Oh, okay. Actually, not pushing towards the third. You can see MaxPax getting ready. Shield batteries are on the way. 2 shield batteries, extra warp ins. For now, Clem, he's building up back at home. He's not pushing yet. Just going for the drop. Drops into the main. confirms the Stargate. Ooh, and the medevac. It's gonna get called out. Yeah, brutal pickup. Clem, he will lose the medevac. He'll lose all the Marines. This should not have happened, but Clem was unaware of the tech. Didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know what it was moving into. Those 8 Marines going down. If the Marines were still alive, then we can actually push with everything. And even pull the boys. But now he's stuck at home. 2 more racks is on the way, getting into a 5-rack setup. Very committed on 2 bases. Waiting for Stim, and until Stim finishes, Clem is stuck at home. Stuck at home. MaxPax taking his natural, securing his bases, getting into charge. It's on MaxPax to scout the move out and to slow it down, and so far doing a great job. Picks up a couple of Marines, picks up the medevac. As again, so far, Clem is just stuck and turtling up on 2 bases. And he has the option to pull the boys. Yeah, Stim is almost done. Here comes a mass on siege. No add-ons here on the racks is indicative of an all-in. It's all or nothing for Clem. Storm is not done. And either he kills MaxPax or he dies trying. Doesn't pull the boys. Oh. Does catch some reinforcements. Yeah, gets a Marine. Gets 2 Marines, does force the siege. Forces the burrow. And pulls away. Peels off into the mineral line, not bad. Dust him in, but again, Clem splits up his army. Takes care of every single probe. And the main army does hit the 3rd. Storm does great. Ooh, nice mine shot. Takes down the High Templar. Job is dealt with. But Clem is down to 1 tank. Clem, does he have enough? Does he have enough to keep going? He's rallying. Here come the storms. And yeah, Max actually defends. He defends. He shuts us down. GG gets called. Clem was all in, and he does not do enough damage as MaxPax survives. And MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Clem, he had potential, of course, and he did get a mineral line, but the reality is he was all in. Killing the 3rd base mineral line, and even killing the 3rd, isn't good enough. It's not good enough. He had to do more than that. He had to break the expansion, and we had plenty of storms, plenty of High Templar. And again, it was just a really rough start for Clem to lose that full medevac as well. He had no idea what he was moving into. He had no idea that Phoenixes were waiting for him. GG. GG, well played with that. Oh, MaxPax will take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. As we are going to be loading into Ultralove. Ultralove is a smaller map on the map pool, shorter rushes by grounds. You can be a little bit more aggressive here. 2 base all-ins are very common on Ultralove, and we're expecting that kind of play out of Clem, for sure. We're expecting an all-in. We'll see if he does commit. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultralove, we have our Danish Protoss, the blue Protoss, for Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax, leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. So getting into game 2, and again, Clem, he was hyper aggressive. It was again unfortunate that he threw away the first medevac at 8 Marines at the start of the game, as again he didn't know that he was moving into a mass amount of Phoenixes. So it was a rough start that could have assisted when it came to the all-in. Likewise, I don't know if I'm really too fond of Clem splitting up his army and going for the double drop into the natural. As we mentioned, yes, he killed the mid-air line, but that didn't matter, is the problem. Like, it doesn't matter that he killed, what was it, 14 to 16 probes. What matters was the main army, and yeah, Max actually shut it down. Here we go. Now getting to that second game. This time double gas. So double gas to open out of Clem. Clem this time going for a faster factory. As a reminder, last game Clem went actually for the eBay block into a faster expansion on the low ground. This time, factory instead. So more of a tech heavy start. Technically this can lead into a one base all in, but we're expecting Clem to expand. One base all ins are very rare in this matchup. We've seen players like Ryung or Oliveira back when he was around, kind of mixing them in. But here he pulls out. Does pull out. As there's that CC on the high ground after the factory. And with this more tech heavy start, Clem can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion, he can go for early Cyclone drop, he can go for early tank production, Banshee play as well. Committed Widowmine drop. Show us what you got. Meanwhile, this time MaxPax does open up Twilight Council into Blink. We're assuming Blink. Twilight Council's on the way. We did mention previously that the Stargate opener was just because MaxPax was forced to expand elsewhere at the third location. This time opening up standard. Back at home and Reactor Reaper Hellion. Just getting up to 3 Reapers. So 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions. Clem moves out. There's the recall back home. A dead does make it out. And we'll see what Clem can get done. Meanwhile, MaxPax playing very safe. Makes sense. He does throw down extra. He does wall off completely at the natural. Getting into 3-gate blink. Bearing in mind that MaxPax will be canceling one of these gateways. So 3-gate blink out of our Protoss into a delayed third. Clem looking for a way in. Doesn't find it. And there's a cancel. Back at home, Clem with the double gas opener, he's going into early tank production, early Banshee production as well, and this should lead into an early push. Once again, Clem is going to have the option to pull the boys. Just like last game. Ooh, as Clem does get one of the Stalkers out of range of the shield battery. Yeah, MaxPax barely out of range. Nice pick off out of Clem. Prism moves out. MaxPax should expand. And here comes a push, and we do pull only a couple of boys. Just a couple of boys to repair, but this is still very committed here from Clem. Blink is done. MaxPax, he's distracted by the Reaper Hellion. The Bio Army's pushing in. And MaxPax, he has to delay the move out. He has to delay the siege. He's trying. But the army's already here. We spoke earlier how 2-base all-ins are very popular on this map because of the rush distance. Clem is already pushing into the bases. The Immortal has arrived, just barely. But the tank siege. Yeah, the tanks, they siege. They bully back the army. And Clem, he's doing it. He's pushing in. MaxPax, he does catch some reinforcements. Setting up for the surround. Yeah, the second Immortal will not finish. Gateway falls as well. And MaxPax, he does get the third tank. Okay. Oh no, the Immortal, as yeah, he was not paying attention. The Immortal goes down, a massive pickoff, and Clem, he's doing it. He's breaking the natural. Max is slowly sieging forward. And MaxPax doesn't have anything. Yeah, there's no way to defend. Prism is running back. Second Banshee has arrived. The boys are being pulled. Oh, that's a right pull. It's only 13 probe kills. Charge will help, but Charge is still a ways away. As he does go for the blink. Okay, does go for the blink, does go for the dive. Gets one, gets two. Can he get all three tanks? He won't. He will not. GG gets called. Clem, he shuts down the army, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We are going to game 3 here. Again, all-ins are very common on Ultra Love. As we mentioned, short rushes, spike round. You have that abusable position in between the natural and the third base. And unfortunately for MaxPax, he was unable to slow down the all-in. He wasn't able to slow down the push. If you recall, the Stalkers were busy, distracted by the Reaper Hellion, so he couldn't slow down the Marines. He couldn't force an early siege. He couldn't engage with the main tank move out, or at least he wasn't able to with that GG. With that GG, once Clem got within range of the Robo, that was game. MaxPax did end up getting his first Immortal out, but as you saw, he was inattentive and he lost it early on. Did lose that Immortal. And now we're getting into game number 3. Now, bearing in mind this is the best of 5, so we have plenty more games ahead of us, and we are loading into, from one of the smaller maps into one of the larger maps of the map pool. We're going to be loading into Tokamak. Tokamak, known for longer and later games. I do favor MaxPax coming into these larger maps. I favor Clem on the smaller maps. So maps like Ultra Love, maps like Pylon, maps like Torches, these are the maps where Clem can pop off. On these larger maps, MaxPax is going to be a lot more comfortable. So maps like Tokamak, like Maganatha as well. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran tying up the series 1-1. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Ooh, as we do have a bit of a pause. Oh, never mind. It's all good. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we're going to be settling in. It is viable on these larger maps to open up with a faster third CC. Bjorn is very fond of it. If you watch Bjorn, he's very fond of going into the faster third CC. Clem, he is willing to go for those builds every now and then, but for now, double gas. Ooh, okay, double gas opener out of Clem, just like last game. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be seeing the same build, but he does have the option to. Does have the option, as he's going to have extra gas, faster factory, faster starport. So a much more tech heavy, much more aggressive start out of Clem. Once again, to reiterate, this is the most defensive map in the map pool. All-ins are less favorable on this map. I'm not saying you can't pull them off, you can. But more difficult to achieve here on Tokamak. Clem, he might attempt it anyway. We'll see. Now MaxPax is setting up. Just getting to his own opener. Here at MaxPax, he may go for a 2-gate opener into a faster third. It is more viable to go for that on these larger maps. So we could see MaxPax cut some. We could see him cut some corners. If he does, then maybe Clem could be aggressive as well as a response. We'll see how things line up. Oh. And the scout is denied. Twilight counter opener out of MaxPax. Clem is in the dark. And Clem is going to be opening up with a Widowmine drop this time. Remember, last game we had a faster reactor into reactor Reaper Hellion. That is not the case this time. So we have a lower amount of Hellions and Reapers. Setting up for the mine drop. Getting into a longer game. That does take some extra hull damage, not bad. Ooh, does go down. Nice pick up here by Clem. And the Widowmine drop is building up. Ooh, meanwhile, very safe play at a MaxPax. As we mentioned before, he has the option to be greedy and to go for a faster third. He's not going for it. He's going for a 3-gate blink opener into a robo on 2 bases. So again, very safe play out of MaxPax. He's not cutting any corners. I mean, despite that, still did go down last game. A different map. Mine drop is moving in. It does take a lot of hits, a lot of volleys. Widowmine drop is denied. And Clem, he's going for Cloak Banshee as a follow-up. Okay. Building up into Cloak Banshee. Alien Reaper does not find a way in. Again, Max is going for a much later expand. Oh, does end up catching a Reaper. Reaper goes down. Behind this, MaxPax will expand. Again, that's a bit of a later expansion, but still going for it. And Clem, he should be able to defend here. Sure, MaxPax has a War Prism, he can reinforce, he has high ground vision as well. MaxPax is supply blocked. Just now breaking out. But the tank is ready, and Max... Oh, he blinks in! Yeah, bold blink. Does take 2 volleys to the face. MaxPax has to be careful. Gets behind the mineral line. He's out of range of the tank. And 4 Stalkers, they one-shot SCVs. Yeah, they one-shot 5 SCVs, 6 SCVs going down. Very nice damage here by MaxPax. He gets away with the tank once again and gets even more economic damage. Same time, Reaper Hellion at the 3rd. The Banshee's headed towards the main base. And do we have detection? It's just yes. Banshee has arrived at detections in position, and the Banshee gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 probe kills, gets up to maybe 5. Oh, barely 5. 5 probes go down. This is okay damage. If only Clem hadn't lost 11 SCVs. Got the Banshee towards the natural. So they go back in. Get a handful of SCVs. Just a handful. As that's going to be 9 dead workers. 9 probes going down from MaxPax. A pretty successful Banshee. Oh, that, never mind. I was going to say successful Banshee harass, but the Banshees are getting picked off. And Clemmy just sends it. Yeah, he just sends it across the map. 2 more Maxes, no 3rd CC. Oh, bit of miscontrol. Yeah, massive miscontrol out of MaxPax. And the boys are being pulled. Here we go. Clem is going for the 2-base all-in. Max actually bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. And this is it. This is Clem's moment. Just all in, papi. Send it. Oh, Storm is ready. Uh-oh. How many High Templar? 1. Only 1 High Templar. If he had more Storms, then maybe. Oh, the tanks are caught unsieged. Yeah, tanks are getting caught out. Here comes a Storm. 1 tank falls, he gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 tanks. Wow, a very impressive defense. All 3 tanks go down. Doesn't even use the Storm, and MaxPax, he shuts down the all-in. MaxPax takes a lead. Wow, GG. Things were lining up. I wasn't blaming Clem at all for committing there, but He got caught out. He lost 3 tanks for nothing there. 3 tanks went down. He had no support for the tanks. The Marines and SCVs were behind the tanks instead. And without the tanks, there was nothing there. GG. GG, well played. So Clem, he did fumble the assault. He fumbled the attack and lost everything in the process. And now MaxPax is 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. GG, well played. Want to amass 1 more game. And if Clem is going for 2 base all-ins on Tokamak, then they're going to continue. They will continue here. Speaking of continuing all-ins, this map screams all-in. We're loading into Pylon. Now, we did mention how on the smaller maps we favor Clem. On maps like Ultralove, on maps like Pylon. Guess what? Up next, we're loading into Pylon. This is a much smaller map in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. If Clem were to go for an all-in, they do hit harder, they do hit different on Pylon. Not saying that they work 100% of the time, but you know, they have that added bonus, that benefit of the map itself. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Leading the series 2-1, 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is a Clem. Clem. Up. Here we go. As we are getting into our game number 4, and the pressure is very much so on Clem. Oh boy. Now, when it comes to different all-ins, when it comes to different committed builds, there's a wide variety of them. There are these early kind of Beyond pushes with Stimless Marines, where you go for early tanks and Banshees. There are these earlier stim timings you can go for as well. For now, double gas, which means a faster factory, faster starport. Last game, this led into a Widowmine drop, followed by the Banshee tank play. The Banshees, they did some economic damage. It is unfortunate that they went down as they were harassing. They killed a decent amount of pros, but alas, they weren't a part of the fight. We'll see what Clem goes for this time. As, ooh, MaxPax is going to be locked in. He does get a full scouts, but is trapped in here with Clem. May have to go for the recall. Yep, there it is. There's a recall back home. Does save the probe. For those who are curious, it is more efficient to save that worker with a recall instead of using a chrono. So it saves a probe. Does pull out. Yo, Este Geralt. Hey guys, may I make a small announcement about StarCraft 2 tournaments in Philadelphia? Sure. Este Geralt, of course. The SC for All tournaments. If you're referring to our Discord server, then yes, yeah. You can go for it. For those who are unaware, Cheeseadelphia has partnered with the SC Historian. They partnered together to bring together the SC for All tournaments. We most likely going to be a part of the broadcast. I'm not saying that I say most likely. We have been a part of the Cheeseadelphia casts in the past. So we're probably going to be like the B stream or a side stream. But yes, big event happening in Philadelphia. And really cool to see this. Not just StarCraft, it's also Brood War as well. And also StarCraft 64. I think that's got a lot of hype around it. The StarCraft 64 like portion of the tournament. It's gonna be crazy. Ah, no. The controllers are gonna be thrown. They're gonna be thrown all over the place. Not like this. For now, we do have our 1-1-1 setup. To have our initial marine drop across the map, getting into the bases. It's only one widow mine. Ideally, you want the mine to zone away the stalkers and marines to just go ham in the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. How's the Maestro going to be? And Maestro goes up, does pull away, and does catch a stalker. Yeah, one stalker goes down, 4 probe kills. We get some decent damage here by Clem. And Clem is pushing. Like, Clem is committed, he's all in, and we have tanks rallying, we have Vikings rallying as well. It's all or nothing for Clem, and so far he's not being slowed down. And we spoke about it earlier, the rush distance by ground is very short on this map. The army's already here. Clem, he's already arrived. Once again, the win condition, go for the pylon and depower the robo and make sure there's no immortal. Pylon goes down. Oh, Prism is denied. MaxPax going for the dive, gets a tank. Yeah, takes down the tank, bleeds out a couple of probes, he can afford to lose them. And MaxPax will defend. Wow, MaxPax, he will defend, he shuts us down. It will cost him 12 workers though. That's a lot of economic damage. But he lives. Behind this Clem, he can macro, by the way. He can macro out of this. He does have a worker lead. More Max is on the way. But again, hasn't been enough damage. As the Prism has arrived, MaxPax has high ground vision. He can always dive into the main. There are 2 tanks, one covering the natural, one in the main base. Tanks are in position. MaxPax, he's going for the dive. He dives on the tank, gets one. Yeah, tank goes down, massive pickup. And Clem, it looks like he will barely hold on. Does mass repair. Bunker holds. Another tank has arrived. Meanwhile, MaxPax is still going for it, by the way. He's still going. Going for the gas. Rotating into the main. But again, there is a tank in position. Yeah, tank volley goes up. MaxPax going to be zoned away, losing a stalker. Now, does he have enough stalkers to go for Sim? Or to go for the tank itself? He will! No, it's on siege! Yeah, brutal on siege. Tank does fall. These are vanilla marines, and with good enough control here, thankfully another tank does barely arrive in time, but the marines are going down, and MaxPax can just blink in. Or can he? Yeah, it does blink forward. Takes out the tank once again, but he does not have enough stalkers. And Clem is holding. Clem is holding on. This is very committed play here by MaxPax. And there's no expansion. Yeah, MaxPax, he'll lose everything, and there's no third base on MaxPax either. He forced himself all in. He never expanded. No third. GG. GG gets called, and Clem, he will tie up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. Let's go. Yeah, GG, well played. Clem, he does survive the counterattack, does defend. MaxPax, he had the option to try to expand or to commit to the aggression as well. He was getting some nice pickoffs with tanks, but alas, did lose everything in the process. And he had no economy behind it, right? He had no expansion, he had no base, no follow-up. I'm sure he felt pressured to be all in because he lost so many probes in the defense. He lost 12 workers trying to hold on to the natural. And now it all ends here. It all ends on Maganatha. Let's go. Let us go. In StarCraft 64, controls is a gender's term. True, true. There's a World Tournament happening in Philadelphia. The organizers decided to help players cover their costs and opened a voting. Oh, true, true. I forgot about that. That's what you were promoting. Yes, there is a voting. There's like a voting period available. Let's go. Let's go. There you go. But yes, we spoke about this during the podcast, but if you're out there, you can vote for which players you want to see like their travel expenses paid for to go to the Americas and to compete in the tournament. I would say that it is a little bit better to vote for international players just because it benefits them more so than like the local talent. So people like Mixu, Geralt, Percival, SOS, true. They will benefit the most from that. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game number 5, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, and also proxying across the map, we have the French Terran. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Apparently God is fighting hard against Gypsy. I mean, Gypsy, he's like, if I'm not mistaken, is he the only Brood War player that you can vote for? So I'm sure the Brood War scene, like they're like supporting Gypsy hard because he's the only Brood War option, right? Which I feel like isn't fair. I feel like they should have some other Brood War players here as well, but yeah, I'm sure the Brood War community is getting behind him. Whereas the StarCraft community, they're kind of split between the other players, right? As Clem is going for the proxy racks into proxy Reaper, the bunker is going to be thrown down, and we'll see if the bunker can get up and running. As MaxPax, he's aware. Highland is done. We should be setting up a shield battery. Yeah, the battery's on the way. SCV is going to be denied. Very nice damage on the SCV, by the way. Will delay the bunker quite heavily, actually. Yeah, bunker is going to be denied. And with that, MaxPax defends. Does defend quite nicely. Reaper's racing back home to deal with the probe. And do you see what I see? We're going for a factory and a start, but we're going for a very delayed expansion. So very late CC. I mean, MaxPax, he at least scouts that there's nothing on the low ground. CC just now beginning, but that's going to be after the starport. Okay. Here you go. From here, Clem going to be rallying in. Does catch a first Stalker. Shield battery is not done. Very nice catch. Oh, as the first shield battery was cancelled, actually. Ah, I see. First battery was cancelled. But it's going to get cleaned up. MaxPax, he defends. Does defend, getting into Blink. We'll see how greedy he's going to be. Does he go 2-gate Blink or 3? We have the answer here. As Robo's going to be thrown down. Still relatively safe going for the Robo before the Nexus. Relatively safe. As it's been quite a chaotic start. Late expansion for Clem. He was able to deal some damage across the map, but not much economic damage. That up scouts the mineral line. Ooh, gets shut down by the Widow Mine. Very nice bait out of Clem. And he goes for the drop. Unfortunately, there's no Marines, as there's been no bioproduction. So the Stalker just moves in and gets an SCV. Nice pick off here by MaxPax. Very opportunistic. Yeah, the Widow Mine drop is going to be delayed. Stalker will not escape. Stalkers, they attempt to intercept. They will. Este MaxPax. I mean, Blink is done. And the Widow Mine drop does not get across the map. Okay. Behind this is still in 2 gateways, so MaxPax, he is just now throwing down a 3rd gateway. Okay. 3rd gateway is on the way. War Prism has arrived. It's getting across the map. I see Ridden Alice in the chat. CranKy Ducklings is the name of our group, our organization. I'm Light VIP. But I don't get to stream too often anymore. I guess we'll get into it after, as the drop is coming in. Okay, what do I drop into the main? Oh. Nice target firing, gets one of the Widow Mines. One mine goes down. So nice defense here by MaxPax. Gets across the map as well. And we'll see if Clem doubles down. We're waiting to see, does Clem throw down another set of Raxes? Does he commit into a 2-base all-in? It's literally all we've seen out of Clem this entire series. No. As the medevac gets caught. And for the first time this series, we get a third TC. Clem, he's expanding. Okay. Third base out of Clem. He's macroing back. Yeah, he's crazy. Now, as we slow things down, as Clem is looking to expand, MaxPax also has a later expansion as well, so we're kind of stumbling our way into the mid-game here, as MaxPax did delay his base, as he prioritized charge, storm, extra gateways. So he gains momentum. This exclamation mark light in the chat. True, true. But yeah, I used to stream a little more often, but nowadays I just don't really have as much time. If you want to tune into my ladder sessions, I do stream over my personal channel, not on this channel. We keep the CranKy Ducklings only for tournaments, only for casting and for like team content. I do stream over on my personal Twitch channel instead. And I ladder like once a month, once every 2 months. Like, no time, baby, no time. I peaked at like 4.6k, I think 4.6k MMR, something like that. I think it was beginning of the year, if not end of last year, where I did peak and I did hit GM for the first time. But after that, basically, if you remember, I did play a show match against Zombie Grub like a couple of months ago, and I was grinding hard for that. And after that show match, I stopped laddering. Like, it's been very sporadic since then. So I'm very rusty nowadays. Very clear. But if you want to watch my show match against Zombie Grub, it's on WardiTV's channel. It's on his YouTube channel. I played in a Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. It was a lot of fun. We had a caster show match. As MaxPax does get into the main. But now it does distract. Massing out more storms. And behind this, going into Colossus. We have been seeing players like Classic and Hero prioritize Colossus production instead of Storm. Here we can see MaxPax doing the opposite. Storm first, followed by the Colossi. And again, he has a little more freedom, especially on Maganatha. Zoning back the army. And delaying Clem. As MaxPax rotating behind Clem here. Oh, he wants the tanks. Oh no! Yeah, tanks are caught on siege. Okay, they do siege up. Thankfully, they do siege in time. MaxPax rotating over towards a third. Still holding on to a lot of storms. Ooh, one Templar goes down. One Templar falls at the same time. Massive Zealot counterattack, but he runs into a wall. Storms are zoning away. Ooh, harassing Storm as well. Clem having some rough trades. Getting a fourth. And remember, Clem, he's stuck at home and he wanted to be active. He wanted to be across the map. He was pushing and he's just stuck at home with the tanks. Yeah, tanks are exposed. They'll take it on top of the tanks. They're all going to go down. All three tanks full. Oof. And the storms are brutal. Oh god, he stands in the storms. Yeah, brutal losses there for Clem. Bleeding out his tanks, his bio. MaxPax freely getting a fourth base behind this and maintaining map control. That's what's important here, is that MaxPax is containing Clem, keeping him defensive while MaxPax expands. Another Zealot run by. Main army's pushing in. Once again, just keeping Clem busy. And even if MaxPax trades inefficiently, it's fine because he has a better economy. So he can afford to trade out some Zealots, trade out some Stalkers. Not too much, of course. Nice Storm. Storm connects. Widow Mines go down. Ghosts are exposed. Getting a Ghost as well. And Zelsa hit the mineral line. Yeah, they hit the natural. Storms once again, they zone away. The Bio Army cannot engage. There's one Storm left. Nice, very nice EMP. EMP connects, no more Storms. Clem taking his fourth. I see the chat. Live status schedule, only similar to his sleep schedule. Once every 2 months. True, true. Smooch. I did have a lighter stream yesterday, though. I streamed a little bit yesterday, but I'm very rusty. Like, walls of red were real. That's okay. It's what we expect. As MaxPax is just pulling Clem apart, going for a massive warp into the main. The Ghosts are exploding. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 Ghosts going down, losing everything. Every Ghost falls. Ay, ay, ay. A brutal fight for Clem, as he'll lose all the Ghosts. Zelsa get into the main, going for another warp in, and Clem is just being overrun. He's being overwhelmed. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax again. We were, for the first time this series, we were actually gearing up into the mid game, but Clem, alas, he was getting caught out as he tried to be aggressive, tried to be active. MaxPax was doing such a great job at engaging with the army, at slowing him down, at forcing Clem to be more defensive, and it all led into that brutal final fight as well, where Clem, his Ghosts were in front of his army, they were forward, which means that was 5 Ghosts going down instantly. The Ghosts were the first things to fall as the Colossus moved in, as Clem was distracted by the warp in the main. Clem was distracted, and MaxPax just pulled him apart. GG. GG, well played. But again, it was just a really rough start for Clem, just because Clem, he lost a lot of map control early on that he wasn't meant to. Like, he was meant to be the aggressor, he was meant to be active, and he lost that map control early, so it was just a really shaky start for Clem. Just stuck at home. GG. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations to MaxPax as just claimed the series. He's going to be our champion. Congratulations here. My condolences to Clem, but again, Clem, he does have typically a back and forth history with MaxPax. They do often trade, they trade blows, they go back and forth. I'm sure Clem will have another opportunity to get his revenge during the Monday night weeklies, during the other Open Cups, as they're both regulars in the Open Cup circuit. They are both regulars. But here we go. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of our broadcast, we are going to be live again tomorrow with the patches, with the patch bash. This is another tournament featuring the TLMC maps, the Team Liquid map contest maps. I'm a little bit unfortunate that this week Wardi did not update his map pool. I'm a little bit disappointed there that Wardi, he didn't update. Hopefully he will do so later on this week. Again, we've been running and hosting TLMC maps for the past 3, maybe 4 weeks at this point, and we should be featuring them tomorrow during the patch bash as well. Likewise, we have Pickerstar Cup on Wednesday, we have the Pongcast on Thursday, WardiTV Monday on Friday. Wardi, he's hosting 2 WardiTV Mondays this week, just as a heads up. So one on Monday, one on Friday. We have MSO on Saturday, and we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday. This weekend we also do have, what is that Sunday morning? I didn't even know. I did. Hold on. All right, that's the SC2 Safe House. Of course. We have the StarCraft 2 Safe House. That's this weekend? Jesus. Okay, that is going to be this weekend, and we are going to be a part of that cast as well. We're going to be the B stream for the StarCraft 2 Safe House. That is a big event happening over in Vegas, over in the Americas, with Zombergub, with Nathanius, with Fear Dragon, Chicken Man, with Steadfast, and all the other NA talent. They're all coming together to host an event over in the Americas. The event is going to be online, but the venue is going to be offline, if that makes sense. The cast itself, like all the casters are going to be coming together. They're going to be renting an Airbnb in Vegas. And they're going to be creating a bunch of content. They'll be like playing poker and having drinking games, and they're going to be having fun, of course, that like Home Story Cup vibe is kind of the go-to, what they're going for. And of course, they're crowdfunding as well. If they get enough crowdfunding, ideally in the future, they do want to actually have players go to the event as well, but you know, we're still, you know, we're still like stepping stones, right? It's still like baby steps here. They're kind of working on that scene, working on that talent, and they're slowly growing. Of course, they'll get there. They'll get there. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, our next cast is going to be the patch bash. We might push that back a little bit just because this event did end quite late, and yeah, I don't know how much sleep I'm going to be able to get in time. I'll do my best. Do my best. Do my best. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time, and we'll see you guys later on tomorrow for our next cast for the Patches Patch Bash. See you then. Pappy, see you then. Otherwise, if you want to support us here on the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via our Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. We do run tournaments on a weekly basis, and we have been featuring the new map pool the entire time, by the way. We also have like monthly finals as well. You can see our Patreon just under the schedule. We do currently earn 563 USD a month, and the next goal is at 670 USD. That's to boost the prize pool even further, to help us grow our tournaments, and the end goal is to be able to host monthlies on a regular basis. Right now we are hosting monthlies up until December. A very generous donator in the chat did donate $2,000, and that has allowed us to host these monthly tournaments for the next 4 months. So September, October, November, December, $500 monthlies. That's where all the 2K has been placed in those monthly tournaments. And if we can grow our Patreon even further, then we can organically just have that as a part of our regular broadcasting and our regular tournament schedule, if we can grow our Patreon. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.